Hello guys, welcome to this channel, and in this episode of Learn Flutter with Project, we're going to be creating an AI with Flutter using Google's Gemini AI. If this sounds like something you're interested in, stick to the end, like and subscribe. As you can see, this is what we'll be creating. So let's get started. So to make sure everyone's on the same page, this is a new Flutter project with a default counter app. Before we start, I'll be using this Flutter snippet, which increases the speed of development. So let's start by deleting this part of the code here. And with the help of the Flutter snippet, we can type in STL to create a stateless widget. So the name of our stateless widget will be my app, the same name as this one over here. So the stateless widget will return another widget called material app. It's a capital M, material app. So you see, when you run your Flutter application, there's this debug logo right here. So to remove this debug logo, you type in debug. Inside the material app widget, you type in debug show checked banner. You set it to false. And for the home page, which is also the starting page of your Flutter widget, let's create a new Flutter file. Let's create a new dat file. Let's call it homepage. Homepage.dat. And in this homepage, we will import the material app. So we just type in import m, and then we start with a stateful widget. So a stateful widget changes appearance with event clicks like button. Yeah, so let's call this homepage. And we save this file. Yeah. So in our main.dat file, inside the home, we set it equal to the home page we just created. So the home page. Inside our home page file, in the home page, we return a scaffold widget. Scaffold. Yeah. And in the scaffold, you set the app bar to the app bar widget. And then inside this app bar, we set the title to a text widget. So a text widget is a widget that returns a text. So let's say Flutter AI, and the background color of this app bar. So we set the background color to set it to colors dot deep purple. Of course, you can set it to any color you want, but I'll go for deep purple. Deep purple shade of 200. And in this text widget, we can set the color of the text by using the style and the text style widget, and there we set the color to colors dot white. Yeah. Now we save our file. Once you save the file, Flutter will hot reload. So hot reload is applying your changes to the application so you can see what you've done. See the output. As you can see, this is the app bar right here with the background color of purple and the title Flutter AI. So let's put the const keyword in front here. So const it's a keyword put in front of widgets or variables to indicate that they are not going to change. They are going to remain constant. So the next thing we will do is, so inside the body is the body is going to be the entire application, what we are going to see in the application. So in this body, we return the column widget. And inside this column widget, we will return the children parameter. We'll input two children, the expanded. And so with this expanded, let's just put in a container right here. And let's set the color to colors dot red. So expanded widgets are widgets used to take the available space of the body. Columns are used to display items in a vertical direction. So after this, let's create a text field. Well, let's put this in a container as well. Child. After creating the container, let's type text field. So text field widget is a widget that creates a text input, so where the user can type in text for input. So inside this container, we set the color to colors dot gray. Then we hot reload to see our changes. As you can see, the expanded widget has taken the available space here and then left this text area right over here. So in this text area, let's start by decorating this text field. So we use the decoration and then we use input decoration. So first, let's set the hint of the text. Let's say type something. And in this container widget, let's add the padding. So padding is used to create a space around the children of this container. So we type edge insert all, let's set it to 12. So in this input decoration, let's set the border. And the border, we set it to outline input border. So outline input border will create a line around the entire text area. So outline input border, and let's add const everywhere, and now the child should be last. So let's fix this here, the child, and now let's hot reload to see our changes. So this is our input area. It says right here, type something. But the background color, let's try to change the background color. So I'll set it to gray and then a shade of 200. So now let's hot reload, see our changes. And this is much better now. So in the text field widget, let's add keyboard type. So the keyboard type, let's set it to input type the multi-line. So the input type the multi-line allows the user to create multiple lines. So to go to the next line, create multiple lines of the text. And let's set the maximum lines. So the maximum line, let's set it to now which means the user can type in as many lines as he wants. Let's hot reload. So now this is it. We can come over here and type. We can go over to the next line. So the next thing we need to do is create a button over here where we can click on it to send our prompt to the AI. So inside this input decoration, let's add a surface icon. Let's set it to icon button. For now, let's set the onPress to an empty function and the icon to icons.send. So say this is not a constant value. Let's remove this constant here. Let's put it over here and one over here as well. So let's hot reload to see our changes. This is our output now. As you can see, we have the button over here. So the next thing to do is implement the AI. In your browser, you go to pub.dev. So this is the official Flutter website for getting packages. So packages are just features created by other developers in order to speed up your work and development. So here we search for generative AI, AI, then we click Google Generative AI, which was developed by Google, as you can see right here. It was developed by Google. So we scroll down, and before we start using this package, you need to get your API key. So in order to get your API key, you click on this link right here. And in this link, you click on get API key. So if it's your first time, you're going to see a get API key over here, a button which says get API key. Then you click on this button to generate your API key. This is free and there's no payment required. So I already have my API key right here. So once you have your API key, you create a new file. You call it keys. You call it anything you want. For me, I'll call it keys. I'll call it API key. So you can name it anything you want, but I'll call it API key dot that. And in this, we create a class. And in this class, let's call it API key. And we create a static variable called API key. And we set it, and in here, const API, and in here, you paste your API key in here. So after pasting your API key, you come back to the home page of that, and you go over to your pub.dev, and in here you need to add this package to your Flutter. So you copy, so you click this button to copy, and you open your terminal. So you paste the function over here. So you paste the function over here in order to download and install the package in your Flutter app. So you hit enter. So it might take a while, depending on your network. It might take a while to download and install. cut that part. So once it's done downloading, let's create, let's come up here. So once it's done downloading, we come over to our code right here. And let's create a function. For this function, void, and let's call it send input. So in this function, we will create a try and catch statement. So in this function, we will create a try and catch statement. And inside the try, let's come over here to the pub.def and then copy this part of the code right here. Copy this part of the code right here. And then let's paste it. So with these errors, you need to import the AI into your Flutter file. So let's copy this and then paste it at the top of your Flutter file. And once this is done, we create an async function. Your function should be async. And this, your API key should be the API key you created in this file. So API key dot, so you import the API key, API key dot API. However you named your class, so you type your class here, dot, and then the variable name. So once this is done, you come over. Once this is done, we create a text editing controller that would save the input of the user. Let's create a text editing controller, which will be used to save the input of the user. So text editing controller. Let's call this text prompt. Let's set it equal to text editing controller. And inside this prompt, we can change it to the text prompt, that is the text the user input, and then the dot text. And don't forget to also set the controller of your text field. So the text field here, we come over to the text field and the controller parameter, we set it to our text editing controller called text prompt, or however you named yours. So text prompt. After that, you save your file and hot reload. So after this, let's create a bool value to check whether it's loading the answer or it is done loading. So let's create a bool value and let's call it is loading, and let's set it to false. So in this bool value, so in this send input function right above here, let's use the set state function in order to change the appearance of the Flutter app. So the set state function, let's set is loading to true. Let's set it to true. let's remove this print statement right here. So after we have our response, let's check whether we have a response or not. So in here we check if response dot text is not empty. So if it's not empty, that means the AI has provided us with an answer. So right here it gives us this error that right here it's giving us this error. So this error means we should use as now safety, which means that the AI can return an empty answer. So we check for that. So if our response is not empty, we set its loading to false. Let's save this and hot reload to see our changes. So now, if we type something, and click on the send, we're supposed to see the output right over here. So what we're going to do now is, inside this expanded, let's create a list view builder. List view dot builder, and inside this list view builder, we're going to display all the answers to the prompt. So, but before that, let's create a list here. Let's call this my content. Let's set it equal to an empty list. So if, and then inside this if statement, so if the response is not empty, let's add the response to my content. So my content dot add response, and let's add a response to it. Response dot text. Let's add it to the list. Let's come over here to the list view builder. So in this list view builder, the item count, which is the number of items, let's set it to the length of our list. And in this list builder, we are supposed to return a widget. So let's return a container widget. So inside this container widget, let's start by the decoration. So let's set the decoration to box decoration. Box decoration. Let's set the color to colors dot deep purple with a shade of 200. Deep purple, the capital P, with a shade of 200. Let's set the border radius to not border radius to, which uses the border radius widget, border radius dot circular to 12. And inside this container, let's set the padding, that is the area around its children, edge insert the all. Let's set it to 15, and let's set it 10 for the padding. And then the margin is area around, create a space around the container. Let's set this to 15. Let's save that. So for the child element of our container, let's set it to my content and then index using this index value of the list view builder. So the index is actually the position of each item. So let's set it to my content and whatever position it's on at the moment. And after that, so we want it to be like when the AI is generating the answer, we want it to be loading, show a loading sign, loading symbol. So over here, supposed inside this if, let's change this. Let's put this is loading inside a set state. It's supposed to be in a set state. Set state, and let's paste it right here. So over here with the icon, let's change it to let's remove this. Let's say it's loading. Let's check if it's loading. So if it's loading, let's return a circular progress indicator. Else, if it's not loading, then let's return our icon. And with that, let's save and hot reload to see our output. So let's see our output. Open that and let's say what is Flutter. We hit send. Well, see the send button is not working. So right here on the onPressed, let's remove this function. Let's set it equal to our function we created here. Our function right here, the send input function. Let's set it equal to it so that the button works. Set input. And one more thing too, once the response is not empty, let's clear our text prompt. So our text prompt dot clear. So let's hot reload to see our changes and test it out. Right here, let's say what is Flutter, and we click our button. As you can see, the indicator is working. As you can see, there's an error right here. So it is caused from this. So in the child of the container, let's return a text widget, and inside our text widget, we paste in our content index. Let's style it to, let's set the color of our text to colors dot white color. Yeah, so colors.white. Let's hot reload to see our output. So let's try that again. What is Flutter? As you can see, here is the output. It generates everything for us. Let's say write a story about John, and that is also done. Congratulations, you have a fully working AI developed in Flutter. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.